Hey everyone, and welcome back, and thank you for tuning in today. Today is Sunday, December 11th at 1 p.m., and this is the Skill Building Sunday Drawing Group on the Reinventing the Tattoo Network, and I am your host, Jason Leeser, here to guide you through today's session. If this is working for you, please let us know in the comments and in the chats, and please tag a friend who loves tattoos. Welcome to Guy Aitchison's Reinventing the Tattoo Community, where tattooers, apprentices, collectors, and the curious are encouraged to join in these live streams, real-world events to share and inspire, ultimately create better art and tattoos together. We beam out nearly every day, and with your help have evolved into a quality network of amazing live and on-demand tattoo and art shows that have all been receiving rave reviews. You can find Reinventing the Tattoo in all the usual places, such as the app stores, the Apple App Store and Google Play Store, our YouTube channel, our Roku channel, which has 12 to 15 shows going on at any given time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, as well as all of the major podcast directories such as Apple and Spotify. But no matter where you are watching, live or on demand, you can always get the latest and greatest, most up-to-date information on upcoming shows and previous episodes, all at www.reinventingthetattoo.com. You can try it out for free. We've got some sample webinars from the Reinventing the Tattoo canon. We've got some free tattoo advice from Guy Aitchison himself. We also have a comprehensive tattoo history course from Jay Brown. You can also find the event schedule with a full weekly and special event live stream calendar with all of the live stream details on how to join, as well as the Reinventing 24/7 channel, which is a lot like our Roku channel, which is active 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and broadcasts 13 different shows on a rotating basis. We also have several different professional development courses available from over 20 world-class tattoo artists. And that's all available at www.reinventingthetattoo.com. As always, if this is working for you, please let us know in the comments and in the chat, and please tag a friend who loves tattoos. We're always trying to grow this network and get more presence and trying to get new people in on this. So please spread the word, let people know. Maybe it's someone trying to become a tattooer. Maybe it's just someone who really loves tattoos and they want to look behind the scenes. Anyone and everyone, please tag them, help share the knowledge, help share the information. We have a number of weekly staple shows we always encourage people to tune into, starting on Sundays at 1 p.m. with me, Jason Leeser, and the Skill Building Sunday Drawing Group. And that's followed on Monday with 4 different shows. The first one starting at 9 a.m. with Drawing for Tattooers with James Wisdom, where we cover basic drawing techniques and strategies. Following that at 11 a.m., we have the Tattoo Weekly show hosted by Lauren Gregory, Jake Meeks from the Fireside Network, and Gabe Ripley of Tattoo Now. Following that at 5 p.m., we have Let's Talk About Feelings with Robbie Ripple. And finally, capping off Monday night at 9 p.m., we have a subscriber exclusive drawing group with Guy Aitchison himself. Tuesdays at 10 a.m., we have another drawing group with Ricardo Sertivant, a very good friend of mine, extremely talented artist, and one heck of a tattooer as well. And that's followed on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. with the Tattoo Now show, where we take a deeper dive into the business side of tattooing and being a tattoo artist. That's followed on Thursdays at 6 p.m. with the Tattoo Collecting 101 podcast hosted by Fawn Baker. As always, I would like to go through and take a quick minute to thank some of our sponsors and some of the people that make these shows happen, starting off with worldtattooevents.com, the largest, most comprehensive resource for tattoo events worldwide. They're constantly keeping everything updated. As we know, living in this post-pandemic world, events are still getting rescheduled like crazy and new ones are getting added all the time. So for the latest and greatest, most up-to-date convention information coming to a town near you, or maybe it's coming to a town you want to visit, for all of the latest event information, take a look at worldtattooevents.com. DLize Pro, also known as Dermalize in the rest of the world, Protect your art. If you're still using plastic wrap to wrap your tattoos up, it's probably time to upgrade. D-Lies Pro is designed by wound care specialists, specifically designed to help heal tattoos. Take a look at D-Lies Pro for the most cutting-edge wound care and tattoo healing products available. TattooNow.com, technology for tattooers. The leading edge in professional development, management, and digital tools for tattooers of all levels. They're constantly keeping everything upgraded and updated, and they are 100% competitive with any type of CRM, mailing list, or scheduling software currently available. So for the latest and greatest tattoo technology, take a look at TattooNow.com and see what they can do for you. And of course, this wouldn't be Reinventing the Tattoo without a very personal and heartfelt thank you and mention of the man, the myth, and the legend, Guy Aitchison, who you can find at guyaitchison.com. He is the founder and inspiration behind Reinventing the Tattoo. Go to guyaitchison.com where you can pick up a copy of his Biomech Encyclopedia. You can pick up some of his DVDs. He's got some custom coil machines for sale. He's got some original paintings, countless prints for sale, and all types of other goodies, all available at guyaitchison.com. Would also like to go through and say a very quick thank you to two of our affiliates, the Apprenticeship Diaries with Amy Nichols. For those people that are looking to get a tattoo apprenticeship and get started on their tattoo journey, take a look at the Apprenticeship Diaries, where you can find all of the relevant information that you will need to know, including an interview with me. Yay! Also, the Fireside Tattoo Network, hosted by Jake Meeks. This will give you a secondary source of information. They've got tons of great interviews with world-class leading artists, such as Teresa Sharp, Rich Wren, even Nico Hurtado. They've got tons and tons of absolutely priceless information all posted up on the Fireside Tattoo Network. So make sure to check them out as well. As always, we ask that if you enjoyed today's show, please go through and post a positive review on the channel. Hit that like and subscribe button. Make sure that you get notified of all of the upcoming shows and help us get the word out. And if you would like to host a Reinventing the Tattoo event, become a sponsor of the Reinventing the Tattoo community, or maybe you're looking for a fine art or a tattoo critique, you can always email management@reinventingthetattoo.com and we will get back to you just as soon as we can. We are always looking to help people out with just about anything you can imagine. So please, by all means, reach out to us and let us know how we can help you or what we can do better. And let's get today's show started. We've got quite a few people in with us today already. We've got Amber, she's in with us. Medusa is also in with us. Medusa and I just came back from the Puerto Rico Tattoo Convention. Would also like to go through, while I have a second, to say a very quick thank you to a few people from the Puerto Rico Tattoo Convention. I would like to give a big shout out to Chris Mack and his wife, Lauren. You guys were absolute gems this past trip. If you guys don't know about Chris Mack, he actually won a couple of awards while we were there. I got the privilege to hang out with him and get to know him pretty well. And I wouldn't be surprised if you see him popping in on here or me doing some kind of an interview with him coming up soon. So Chris, thank you very much. Would also like to say a very, very big thank you to Yalzi and Fibs. You guys absolutely rock. You guys put on one of the best shows I have ever worked at. They were the two hosts of the International Puerto Rico Tattoo Convention. And I would also like to thank Sparkov Entertainment for putting on the show, for running the show as smooth as silk. One of the best run shows I think I've ever had the pleasure to work at. Thank you very much. You guys absolutely rock. And if it wasn't for you, I can guarantee you that show would not be what it is today. Would also like to say thank you to Anthony Tex for tattooing me on Sunday. As much as it's still sore and kind of hurting, it was a blast to hang out with you and talk with you all weekend. So thank you very, very kindly. Cool. Medusa. Did you want to unmute yourself and say hi to anyone from
Hi,
Puerto Rico?
anyone. Yeah, I had such a wonderful time. I actually, while you were mentioning that, just texted Lauren and I'm all like, you should hop on the show today. Yeah. Um, Lauren and Chris were great. We actually ended up having the same plane, departure plane. So we hung out at the airport together. And Courtney also had the same flight as us, so it was cool.
Really?
Yeah. And Yuki had a different flight, but he was like sitting next to DJ Tambi on his
Yeah.
flight and didn't even notice, or like didn't
Oh,
even know that
wow.
they were on the same flight.
What?
He
My
like
God.
he texted me a picture. He's like, I'm sitting next to DJ Tambi. I'm just like, all right, sweet. So everybody was on the same planes together. That was cool. Yeah, actually, I had a really great time with everybody. Jason, thank you so much for inviting me to come down. Like, that is,
It was my
you're
pleasure.
awesome. I'm sending you a gratitude gift.
You don't have to.
Obviously.
It
Well,
was
I'm
an
gonna.
absolute pleasure working at that show with you.
Well, I'm still sending you something because that's what I do.
I appreciate that. Are
Yeah.
you heading out to Gods of Ink, by the way?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I would assume that you and I both are not, because it's the same weekend as Inspiring Tours.
Oh, see, I'm not doing Inspiring Tours this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I'm doing Inspiring Tours. I would love to, but
Philip
honestly,
Blue, Grime, Nico Hurtado, James Tex, Anthony Tex, Chris Mack. He's heading out there for it. Sean Barber, Nick Baxter.
Okay, but you've already done Inspiring Tours before.
Actually, I have not.
I thought you did last year.
Ricardo did.
Oh, I thought you did. Okay.
Nope.
Well, I already signed up for Inspiring Tours, and I know that intimacy with those artists and
it's
the painting is going to help me in my career. I'll definitely be planning better for the next Gods of Ink.
Yeah.
But I've already got
let's
plans.
go through and talk about what Gods of Ink is, by the way. So Gods of Ink is a show, because we're mentioning this and some people out there might not know this. Back over quarantine, during lockdown for everyone across the globe, there were a number of different tattoo organizers that could not financially sustain hosting their show and keeping everything in storage and doing all kinds of stuff like that. So a lot of those tattoo convention companies had to fold. They went bankrupt. One of those was the London Tattoo Convention, hosted by Mickey Violenti. Now, Mickey also ended up closing the London Tattoo Convention for a couple of different reasons. His business partner actually ended up passing away at that period of time. So it also had a lot of other deeper kind of significance. So he wanted to kind of cancel it at that point. What ended up happening coming from that was this show, Gods of Ink, which he started to replace the London Tattoo Convention. The lineup for this show already is so far at least equal to, if not better than, every London Tattoo Convention I have ever gone to. I mean, guys like Steve Butcher and Nico Hurtado, next to guys like Shige, next to Grime from California, next to James Tex. I mean, those are just a few of the names that are going to be there, right? And for those, Philip Blue will be there tattooing as well. So, I mean, it's got to be pretty good, you know, if Philip Blue's going to be there. So it's it's gonna be a pretty big deal. It's the first year it's going on. They're hoping it picks up a bit more momentum. Right now, I'm looking at heading out there for it. Obviously, I don't think I'm gonna be working at it because that would. I just don't think that that's going to be happening this year. As much as if I get the invitation and the offer, I will. But I mean, to tattoo alongside Philip Liu, like that's
I want to do the Wayne's World. I'm not worthy.
that's exactly what I would do without a
Not
question.
worthy.
I would just sit
Aw.
down and I would keep my stuff packed up all weekend and be like, listen, I can't tattoo next to this guy. Like anything I do isn't going to compare.
I would
Like,
go to
it's
God's
not-
Saving
it's
to
not
be
even
an
gonna be-
apprentice.
I would give me a single booth all the way over in the back darkest corner, right? That is kind of not that I'm saying I've got imposter syndrome, not saying I can't hold my own, but when you're getting put into the gauntlet with guys like that, it's a bit more than intimidating, right? So it's different. I'm not saying I wouldn't work at that show. If I do work at that show, I just hope they don't put me next to Philip Liu. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I
That-
mean,
that would not be cool.
how do you think I felt even being in the same room as like the Texas and fucking Hip and Yalzi and Fibs?
Yeah. It's
Like-
intimidating for sure, but you know what? That's something. So I was actually talking to a few people on the Launchpad community the other day about, everything going on and about, having imposter syndrome and stuff like that. And, it's something we all deal with and it's not easy to get over, but we have to push through it.
I actually yesterday while I was on a particularly long walk with my dog, I had a couple of thoughts about imposter syndrome and how can you defeat imposter syndrome. And the conclusion I've come up with is that you can't really.
Nope.
There's always
No.
going to be a little bit of it. However, instead of imposter syndrome being this like giant weight on your shoulders that you're carrying, that's like always on your mind, is a constant making you feel less than worthy and all of that, instead of like carrying imposter syndrome like Atlas, we can use it as a tool. It's a tool to make us better. So in order to defeat those, or not defeat, but to lessen and to manage those feelings of imposter syndrome, learn more.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like if I'm feeling like I have imposter syndrome, I've decided that is a sign that I need to invest more into learning.
Yeah.
And so
I've
every
found that it
time I
drives
think
my imposter syndrome drives my need to learn.
yeah. So every time I'm
Um,
feeling I'm not worthy, and just be like, no. It's not that I'm not worthy. I just have a couple of more things I need to learn real quick. So
mhm.
it's not that I'm not worthy. That's my gut telling me, listen up and learn some more. Like this is an opportunity.
I think it's interesting that we bring that up, especially with people like Fibs, Yalzi, the Tex family, all those guys, because believe it or not, they have imposter syndrome too. It sounds funny to say that, but
It's just like, really?
even guys like Philip Liu have imposter syndrome. It's not something that anyone ever really gets over, no matter what stage you're at. The difference is some people acknowledge the fact that no matter where they are, no matter what they know, maybe they've got something to bring to the table that other people don't. Even if it's just a fresh perspective on things, right? We all have something to bring to the table. And it doesn't matter where we are in our careers. It doesn't matter what our experience level is. Sometimes what a lot of people need is a fresh eye, a fresh perspective, a fresh way of thinking about things. or a fresh background, someone that has a background that's different from everyone else. A lot of times people end up losing the fact that, oh, well, maybe someone's been a tattoo artist for 30 plus years. That's great. But if you're working and you're trying to teach things to people, and you have someone that's around you that has a background in education, well, listen to what they have to say, right? Because that's knowledge that maybe someone else doesn't have. Or maybe you've got someone that also has a background in being an electrical engineer, right? That's knowledge that maybe you don't have. Maybe they can help you figure out what's going on with this troubled tattoo machine that you've just never been able to figure out. You never know what knowledge someone has until you ask, until you find out. But if you just sit back and think that you don't have anything at all to offer, well, you're just kind of kidding yourself at that point.
Another, I think, really important thing to keep in mind when we're dealing with imposter syndrome and not feeling good enough is that some of the best innovative accomplishments in the world have come from people asking really absurd questions. The question that nobody else even ever thought to ask, the question that everybody felt too stupid to ask, and all of that. Like, ask questions. Don't humiliate yourself. Ask the dumbest questions in the room. But there's always going to be somebody that's around you who wants to know that same answer, but is too afraid to ask.
Right.
So make yourself fucking dumb. Like, ask the dumbest questions. Ask everything. If you say, I'm sorry, I don't understand, can you explain that? 10 times in a conversation, it might get a little annoying for the person to keep explaining it, but you're going to be learning. You're going to figure it out. You're going to start understanding. And yeah, sorry, I went off on that one.
You are absolutely correct.
I kind of applied that when I was in Atlantic City.
Yep.
At the tattoo convention. I went into it. I'm like, all right, I know some tattoo artists here and I want to watch them tattoo, but I'm going to go into it like I'm just an apprentice. So I want to watch you tattoo, but explain it to me like I'm just an apprentice. Don't take for granted I might know anything that you think I already know.
Right.
Yeah, like if somebody is using a fucking mag in a way that you haven't seen mags be used before, like to make sharp, crispy lines, and they're using it at a certain angle to dig in those edges. Dig in, that sounds really harsh. Ask why. Like, if you see somebody using a round liner in a way that you would normally use a shader, ask why. Like, just keep asking. I mean, answer might be obvious, but just do it.
I've been asking why since I was like 4. It's probably why I'm a geek now.
Yeah, I think that's the problem too, is that like kids ask why all the time. They ask a million questions in a day.
Yeah.
They're always constantly learning. They're figuring shit out. That's part of their development. But somewhere like around the time that we hit like high school and stuff, even middle school for a lot of people, we start becoming more of like ashamed of not knowing things and holding back on our questions for fear of judgment and humility. And because of that, we prevent ourselves from learning more out of just like this weird sense of shame for not already knowing. But the thing is, none of us were born knowing anything. Every single person here had to learn what they know in some way, and you're never going to stop being done learning. So make yourself as embarrassed as possible and keep asking those questions, because that 4-year-old is learning a lot faster than you are because she's asking 40 million questions in a day. And you're just sitting there being all like, oh, might look dumb if I ask this question.
That brings me back to when we just got there on Friday and we were just getting set up, and we had the pleasure of working next to Nick Kaiser, also known as Dead Meat on Instagram, if anyone knows him. Super rad, awesome dude, super incredible color artist, has a very like neo-trad kind of approach to a lot of things. One of the nicest people you will ever meet. He was actually doing a collaborative tattoo with a friend of mine, Harlan Kantner, who is one of the most diverse tattooers I've ever met. And I apologized to them before the show even started. And I said, listen, if you guys are doing this collab, I'm gonna, I'm sorry, but I want to watch, and I'm probably gonna annoy the hell out of you asking you questions. That's just because I really admire you guys and I'm trying to get better. So if it annoys you, I'm sorry, but doesn't mean I'm not going to ask questions. So
Yeah.
Patrick,
I
how are
gotta
you
ask
doing?
questions.
Huh?
How you doing, Patrick?
Good. I'm focused. I'm working on this one today.
Ooh,
ooh,
That one's cute.
I like it.
how adorable.
Mr.
like a
Mackey, you're
little-
killing it.
It's like a little reference to Monty Python and the Holy Grail with that rabbit that jumps out of the cave.
Uh-huh.
Big sharp pointy teeth.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yes. I love it.
With this, we use thine holy hand grenade.
Yeah. Yeah. At first I tried like framing out the rabbit with the holy hand grenade, and it was just looking ridiculous and way too forced. So I was like, I'm just gonna go with poison ivy in his skull.
Yeah, there you go.
Sounds like Puerto Rico was a fucking great time though.
Dude, it was.
Yes, it does.
Getting to hang out with Yuki from World of Pencils. That dude
Yuki's so
is
fun.
super awesome.
Yeah, we went with Jess and another Jesse and DJ Tamby and Eddie and a few other people to a waterfall in the rainforest, and we hiked a little bit and climbed through a couple of little mini caves and went swimming, and that was super fun.
I say that sounds fucking awesome.
Uh-huh.
I always
Yeah.
recommend for people, if you get the chance to, and you can afford to without really breaking the bank, even if you just go and attend the Puerto Rico show, take a day or two after the fact and hang out with some of the artists, because we're all there on vacation, like a few days afterwards.
Workation.
Yeah, it's a workation. We're there hanging out. Get to know us, ask us questions, enjoy the time there. You're in a tropical environment with people that, maybe you won't ever run into them again. Who knows the next time you're going to see DJ Tamby at a tattoo convention, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why not go through and spend time with them? Spend time with everyone there. You see a guy with an amazing collection of tattoos, go talk to him. Find out, how he got started collecting tattoos. Go talk to people that host the event. Big shout out, by the way, to Jeff and Leroy over at Sparkov Entertainment. You guys absolutely rocked the house this weekend. How smoothly everything went. Any problem that we had, all we had to do was talk to them, let them know, and it was taken care of in minutes. And you don't get that from just any tattoo convention. Like, that takes a special care and a special concern for what's going on. So big shout out to you guys. But the Puerto Rico show is one of those shows where even if you don't work at it, it's worth the investment just to go and talk to these artists. Just go
Yeah,
and
I'd
watch
love
them
to.
work,
Is it like typically around the same time of year every year?
Yep. Usually the first weekend in December. which is awesome for people in the Northwest and Northeast that get hit with a lot of snow and a lot more cold weather. Gives you an excuse to like go and travel to a tropical island. Cause I mean, why not? Right.
Yeah.
But it was an absolutely phenomenal time. But I mean, even if you can't make it to the Puerto Rico show, go to shows like Gods of Ink or the Paris Tattoo Convention, right? Take the time, invest in yourself, go there. And even if you just walk around and watch people and ask them questions, right? You're going to learn more by doing that than, almost anything else. Why? Because you're investing that time and that money to go there and be around these people. You can pick up tiny little things from artists. Say you see an artist using the same machine as you, right? Say you're using an Injecta or a Zion or Cheyenne Unlimited, right? And they're using the same stroke length. How are they using it? How much needle hang do they have hanging out? How fast are they running it? Are they, what taper or pins are they using? Are they using number 12 long tapers, medium tapers? Are they using number 10 bug pins? Are they using number 8s? What are they using? How fast are they using it? What angle are they holding their machine? These are only things that you really come to understand if you're there and you get to see them. I remember one of the
my
things.
angle a little bit after watching Fawn Tattoo for a while.
Yep.
And it sped up my color packing.
That's what I'm saying. Sometimes it's little things like that that we don't realize the impact that it will have on us.
Yeah, it was just a slight angle shift off of the angle I was going in at. And I'm like, maybe I'm not coming in low enough.
Right?
And I did it and I was like, well, shit, there it was. And I wouldn't have known it if I didn't pay attention to the little things she did.
Yeah, sometimes it comes down to angle. Sometimes it's how fast are they running their machine? That can have a big monumental difference in the amount of color saturation, how quickly you can get done an area, what their color blends look like, how much trauma are they causing to the skin. I won't ever forget the first time I watched Devin Cooley tattoo. And Devin Cooley actually won first place best tattoo of the day on Friday for a piece that he did. And I've known Devin for quite some time. And it always amazes me how fast he runs his machine when he's shading and how slow he runs it when he's lining. And it's always something that blew my mind.
Yeah, because that seems like the opposite of what everybody else does.
And it's the total opposite of what everyone was taught that started out on coils, right? Everyone that started out on coils was always taught you want a fast liner and a slow shader.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
But we aren't on coils anymore, are we?
Exactly. So how does that impact everything? Or watching James Tech's tattoo, right? And watching how slow his machine is moving, no matter what machine he's using, he's not running it very high as far as power goes, but he's flying through these huge tattoos in record time. He tattooed the entire front of this guy's leg on Friday, start to finish, drew it all on and started it and finished it in 5 hours flat.
Yeah, that blows my mind.
And it's solid color. So it's like, maybe there's something to that, right? But you never know unless you go and you find out. So take the time, make the investment, and just watch how much it has an impact on what you do.
Don't be surprised if I show up in Philly and start picking your brain.
Go for it, by all means.
Because I'm trying to plan a trip out there with a couple of my friends, and I know they're going to be blown away by a convention this big because they've only been to little expos.
Yeah, this caution them ahead of time. And it's something I like to do with everyone that comes out to the Philly show for the first time. I warn them ahead of time. I'm like, listen, if you don't like large crowds of people, don't go.
Yeah, because it's so many people.
It
And
is absolutely ridiculous.
It's weird because I usually don't like giant crowds of people, but I've been going to this thing since it wasn't quite as big.
Right.
So it's kind of okay that it's gotten bigger around me. I'm not being thrown into a big thing that I don't at least have some comfortability with.
Right. And when you've been going to it for so long and you've watched it grow, you have a better understanding of like, oh, well, yeah, but I remember when this was set to like maximum of 800 artists, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like double that amount. And you're like, well, yeah, but I've been coming to this one. So you have that air of, you know, comfort when it comes down to it. You know, but I try to book one appointment a day at the Philly show, and then I usually try to pick up a walk up. So if, you know, you're there and if I'm not working, probably looking for a walk up tattoo, but you know, it's a great time. If anyone ever feels like coming out to watch me tattoo, you're more than welcome to. I'm more than happy to answer any questions at any time. And, you know, if anyone's got an issue with anything or has a problem with anything, tell me. I'll be happy to talk your ear off about whatever.
I'm happy to listen. Believe me, I want to know all of it all the time, all at once.
Well, and this is something that, you know, it took me quite a few years to actually comprehend. I had heard it many, many times, but it didn't really sink in until like the 1200th time I've heard it. There's a very big difference between learning the knowledge and like learning the information and applying the information, right?
Yes.
So I always try to tell people, take your time. Even though I can sit down and teach you different things and show you different things, and I can explain to you why certain things work better than others, but everyone is different. So even though I might sit down and say, well, you know, if you're really trying to saturate the skin with color the first pass, do this like this, and you'll get this effect, right? And that might be great until you go home and you try to put it into practice. And then you sit back and ask yourself, well, he made it look so easy. And it's like, well, yeah, because I've spent the time to practice that. You know, it might not be quite that easy for you at first.
Even if it's simple, it doesn't mean it's easy.
Right. You know, but I also vary up my techniques and my materials depending on what it is that I'm going to be working on, you know, because I'm a firm believer that there's the right tool for the right job. So I tend to overpack a lot of stuff and have a lot of things, and I like to use different things for different things. You know, I'm going to use a different type of pin with a different taper for super fine black and gray work than I am for, you know, say a bold color traditional piece, right?
Yeah.
With traditional work, you're going to want a blunt taper to get that whip shade, to get that, you know, pepper shading coming out from your black shading. And you cannot get that pepper shade look if you're using a long taper or a bug pen, unless you use a liner. But, you know, typically speaking, that's not going to give you that kind of super even pepper shade. So I always try to tell people, like, listen, different tools, different jobs, different techniques, different outcomes. What are you trying to achieve? Right? That's the question. What look are you trying to go for? What is it you're trying to accomplish with what it is that you're doing? Just like with painting, right? Yes, there are people out there that can sit down with colored pencils or, you know, watercolors or thick acrylics, and they can achieve any kind of a look that you want to go for, right? But typically speaking, if you like that translucent color kind of look, go with watercolor. right?
Yeah.
It's translucent by nature. It's going to give you the effect you're looking for. If you like that very thick, opaque oil painting kind of look, use oils. It's that easy, right? Use the right tool for the right job and just watch how easily things fall into place.
I
You know,
like
I found
using a mix of the more sheer watercolors and then the pigmented watercolors over top.
Right. Sometimes you have to combine to get a specific look.
Yeah.
You know, you never know until you try or you seek someone out that has that kind of knowledge. But it also takes a lot of self-reflection. You know, I sit back and look at everything that I do and I ask myself, okay, what am I trying to achieve? What look am I trying to achieve? What am I trying to portray? And is this the right medium to portray what it is I'm trying to do?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's going to have a direct impact on what materials I use to achieve a specific outcome.
Sometimes when I take reference photos of like nature scenes and things like that, I already have in mind what medium I want to do with it.
Right. And sometimes that's what you need to do. You need to ask yourself, all right, well, if I want to work in this and I want to get better at working in this medium, what kind of subject matter should I be focusing on? Right.
Mm-hmm. What's everybody working on today?
I'm still working on that tattoo machine painting that I started a while back.
It's looking really good. I love the amount of detail you've gotten in there.
I'm working on some designs for a client today. So far, I've drawn oh no. Hold on. Hold up. Wait a minute. There
Let me
we
put some
go.
groove in it.
Yeah. I've drawn a salmon shake.
Oh, awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's a little top heavy, so I'm trying to figure out what I can do to kind of like even it out on the bottom. I don't want to shrink the salmon head because I'm going to lose a bunch of details and that's kind of like the main focus. But I might
A
just
little
add
shaker
like
of
some
Old
sort
Bay
of,
on top.
huh?
A little shaker of Old Bay next to it.
We're trying to keep it in a budget range. I don't want to add like
Ah.
another detailed object or take away from it. So I'm thinking I'm just gonna like probably add just like some flair, I guess, and a circle. I know that sounds pretty simple, but here we go. Edit shape, circle, and all right, something very simple to even it out will be like a circle of color on the bottom.
Nice. Yeah.
You
That's
know,
pretty
super simple, just
and
add some weight to the bottom without taking away from the
I like that.
main concept of it.
So
I am working.
I'm switching out what I'm using, by the way.
Ooh.
Not that anyone really is paying attention, but
Well, when Jason talks, I pay attention.
why?
I don't.
You are,
Yeah,
you
I was
are,
gonna Medusa's learned
you
that
are a
lesson.
fountain
Half the
of
time I'm
knowledge.
just talking to myself.
Yeah, but on these podcasts, you are a fountain of knowledge, and I've learned a lot. So,
Fountain of knowledge. Pa. Yeah, right.
fountain of
It's
knowledge.
I don't know if anyone's ever used these before. They're the Zig clean color real brush watercolor pens, but they kick ass.
I might have to get them. The watercolor pens I have behave badly.
Yeah, these are like, they're expensive, don't get me wrong, but they are worth every penny.
I'm super
Um,
interested because that's mainly what I use as the watercolor markers.
Yeah, these things are like, these are my go-tos. They're light, fast. They've really got the right amount of pigment, but you can also blend them out very, very easily, and they don't lift. So it's not like you have to, wait until they're thoroughly dry before you, go back into them. I mean, yeah, make sure that they are dry, but once they're dry, they're there. Like there's no lifting or anything like that from them. Light brown.
I might be getting a PlayStation 5 today, so
Hell yeah.
Oh,
just so
nice.
everybody is aware. My newest gaming console is a Sega Genesis. So like I'm pretty stoked to finally like be a cool kid. Yeah, no, I got my Sega Genesis as a hand-me-down from my cousins when they got a PlayStation 2. So I've always been behind the curve, and today I'm excited to be all like, yeah, I'm gonna get a PlayStation 5. There's too many buttons on the controllers. I don't know how to use them.
I was going to say, it's probably going to take you a while to figure out the buttons.
Yeah.
Somebody on YouTube's got to be able to explain it for you.
Like explain it like I'm 5. Because all I know is like A, B, up, down, right, left. But yeah, I just got a text from my friend saying that they got one available and they're gonna go grab it for me. So I just wanted to interject with that fun little
Pretty
bit.
exciting though.
Mm-hmm.
Aren't those things like still on back order?
Yep. Yeah,
Absolutely
it's
ridiculous.
fucking so hard to get one. Like they're sold out or on back order all over the internet. You can find some from third-party sellers for like $1,000, where they're like people are scalping them and stuff. I am paying only $100 over retail price, but I'm willing to do that rather than, wait 3 years for them to become accessible.
I think $100 is reasonable to kind of get ahead in the line. I think that makes sense personally.
Yeah. Like it's $100, and I know for a lot of people that's a lot of money, but it's my money and I'm gonna spend it how I want.
Yeah.
And I want a fucking PlayStation 5 because Diablo 4 is coming out June 5th. So I gotta get on this shit.
It's funny, right when you said it's my money and I'll do what I want with it, I went straight to the JG Wentworth ads.
Yeah, so did I. It's my money and I need it now.
Yeah.
Exactly. And they have like all the Vikings on the bus.
No, I know that sometimes I can be irresponsible with money. I also know that sometimes I'm very responsible with money. Like I hemorrhage out money towards investing in myself and my own tattoo education all the time. I mean, I was originally going to Puerto Rico just to go there and meet artists and learn something. I wasn't even expecting to tattoo. I was ready to eat that money for the experience, for the learning. So, and then there are people who are like, are you sure you want to spend your money on that? And be like, yeah, of course I am. It's mine. I get to do whatever I want. And I've worked hard for it. And usually I'm spending it on education. So this time I'm going to spend something on like fun.
Absolutely. We have to have the fun too.
Fun and educational.
Yeah. Although education is fun. Let's get real here. Like learning tattooing has been a very fun experience.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's been slightly obsessive.
Yeah.
Slightly.
I've been trying to work on getting myself. I've noticed people around me, maybe not so much burning out, but becoming I don't know, what's the word?
Like complacent.
That's what I was thinking, but
Desensitized.
not desensitized,
Jaded.
jaded. Yes.
Hmm.
Like just comfortable complaining, comfortable being in a state of non-growth, and also taking it out on their clients. Like I know so many people, I work with a few people and everything that they'll like check their emails and be like, oh my God, why doesn't anybody want a cool tattoo? This person wants a stupid fucking like, ugh, they want this and it's so boring and like, I don't want to do that. Do you want to do that tattoo?
Pass
Like,
it
I
over to
want to do
me. I'll
something.
do it.
Yeah. And they're like, I want to do something interesting. This isn't cool. And I'm trying really hard to fight that because that kind of mentality can be really contagious.
It's
And
toxic.
if you're yeah, and it's super toxic.
Yeah.
And if you're working around people who are acting like that all the time, who are complaining about the tattoos they're doing, who are basically talking shit about the ideas that their clients have, you're going to start doing that. Whether you like it or not, it's gonna wear on you. So you need to keep practicing, like fighting that off and keeping yourself enthusiastic.
Yes.
And so I've been working on a lot of that lately, trying to not think of this another infinity symbol walking through the door. I guess I'll just get them in, get them out, make a quick minimum shop rate, you
I'm
know.
doing one on Wednesday.
Yeah, but you know what? That infinity symbol probably means the fucking world to that
Yeah.
person.
Who
And that's
am
so
I to
cool.
judge the tattoo this person wants that matches their personality? It's
Yeah.
like judging their life choices.
And you know what? I got fucking stupid tattoos too. I know that there's some artists who probably just been like, ugh, this girl's idea is so lame. Whatever. But those tattoos were like fucking cool to me.
Hmm. Oh, anybody
See-
who sees the tattoo on my knee knows that it was horribly done, but it was the first tattoo I ever did. It's my badge of honor. I know how blown out it is and how horrible it is, but I'll wear it proudly.
Yeah. I just want to welcome all the infinity symbols, all the little what do you call those, like heartbeat zigzag lines.
EKGs.
Mhm.
Yeah, all of that. I want to accept all of the little words that say live, laugh, love, because people that are getting those, like to each and every one of them, there's a different meaning behind it. There's a different reason they're wanting it, and they're excited about getting it. So
Yeah.
you should be excited to do it because it is an honor and a privilege to draw that infinity symbol on somebody. And let's
Some
get
of the
pumped
best
about
clients I
it.
have came from shit like that, even.
Yeah, right? Like, why the hell would I want to like talk shit about them for wanting a tattoo that I personally wouldn't wear? Like,
Mhm.
that's like looking at somebody and being like, why did you cut your hair like that? That's so fucking stupid. It's like, who cares? It's not your hair.
No.
But yeah, I'm working on trying to stay enthused about the tattoos that I do and keep the momentum going because I don't want to get jaded. I don't want to get angry. I don't want to be like the people around me where they check their emails and they scoff because they think their client, their potential client, doesn't have a cool enough idea.
Well,
Like,
you
that's so
hit on
fucking
something
rude.
there, right? So
Yeah.
the way I started looking at everything, no matter what it was, oh, you want a Celtic cross? Cool. Yeah, I'm all about it. I'll do it. The reason why I'm enthusiastic about every tattoo I do, no matter what it is, no matter who it's on or anything like that, it's another chance for me to practice. Do the infinity symbol, make it the cleanest, most solid, most incredibly amazing infinity symbol anyone has ever even laid eyes upon, right? That is your chance to practice line work. That is your chance to practice black saturation. It is your chance to really get in there and really hone those core, hardcore skills.
Yeah, dude. Like, that infinity symbol that walks through the door, It's not just a little swoop in and out, you make $100. No. That infinity symbol is your chance to prove to everybody in the shop that you can make lines crispier than the fucking Colonel makes chicken.
Damn right.
Like that's your
Exactly.
chance to prove that you have solid work, that you can do a line without splotches, that you can stretch the skin just right and angle the needle perfectly. And it's a delicate process. It is not fucking easy to make a good one too.
Right.
No.
Like, and everybody can tell when everybody knows when you slacked off on an infinity symbol. It's
Yeah.
obvious.
It does always show with those ones in particular.
Yeah, and it really does too. Like they have their own challenges. Like you have to make that two perfect curves. You have to make the crossing perfect. You have to make the crossing where the curves turn into lines perfect. And you can't let there be ink splotches. You have to there's a lot. You have to put as much effort into that as you do with any other tattoo. Why slack off?
I was once
Yeah.
told that anyone can do a big ass tattoo pretty fucking well, right? You show me a tiny, super simple, maybe it's the size of a quarter, a simple little all black design. That will be the definitive nature, and that will be the defining point. Because if you can't do that perfectly clean, perfectly solid, and perfectly clear, then it doesn't matter if you can do a big tattoo well, because you can't knock out the small, simple stuff.
Yeah.
And if you can't knock out the small, simple stuff perfectly, what makes you think that that big ass tattoo you're taking on is going to look right?
Yeah, if you can't do a good infinity symbol, what gives you the right to give somebody a back piece?
Right.
Seriously.
Fucking work on those lines.
Damn right.
It always comes back down to the lines.
Speaking of
does.
lines and edges.
Yeah. So that's actually going to be tomorrow night, Monday night's class. That is the topic for class tomorrow. Hope to see a couple people there. Should be a fun one. I'm going to be covering line weight variation, line weight opacity variation, using line to create a sense of depth and perspective, using line to create a sense of light and shadow, and when to use big, thick, bold lines, when to use thin accent lines, and when to use no lines, right? All to create a sense and an illusion of depth. And it should be an absolutely awesome class.
Can't wait.
Sounds awesome.
Well, to me, line and line weight is something that I've spent a lot of time focusing on, a lot of time learning about, and a lot of time just really trying to understand to its core. Because to me, if the lines on any given tattoo aren't there, if they don't hold up well, if they're not perfect, or if they don't portray the right sense of perspective or foreshortening or whatever, and the rest of the tattoo falls apart. If you can use line effectively in a tattoo, then it doesn't matter what your subject matter is. It's going to be solid for the duration of that tattoo's life. And yes, there are plenty of people out there that are like, well, I do fine line realism. Like my stuff doesn't have any lines. That's cool. More power to you.
Yeah, but if it has some solid edges to it, it's still going to last for a while.
Right. But
if it doesn't have any
have
lines, why is it called it fine line?
Right. Well, that's another good question. But it's like, okay, well, if that's the case, your edges better be crispy, better be sharp, better be solid, You know, you better have the crispiest, hardest edged, you know, pieces out there to really define different forms and shapes.
Yeah.
You know, and if your edges aren't clean and crisp and clear, well, then what's even the point, right?
Everybody loves edging.
Ooh, I see what you did there.
Oh
You know,
man.
it's like, I love line work. Show me any tattoo out there that is, you know, acclaimed to be, you know, the best at whatever. And it's like, cool. First thing immediately my eye is going to go to is, what do the lines look like? Because if that's not there, then is it even a good tattoo? You know, if the edges aren't perfectly solid, if they're way too soft, if they're not super hard and soft, if you don't have a good
Mhm.
variation in there, is it even going to hold up well? You know, and if it's not going to hold
That
up
is
well,
always
then
the
what's the point
question.
in even doing it?
Some people want an image a certain way so much that they don't have a problem with the fact that they might need to get it touched up every 10 years or so.
That's fine. And I'll do it that way. I'll do it whatever way they want me to. But I'm telling them right off the bat, every single time you come in to get anything touched up, you're paying for it,
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
you know, because there's no getting
no
around
free
that.
touch up.
There's no getting around that at all. So it's like, all right, we'll do it. We'll do it the way you want me to do it, but it's your dime. You want to
Yeah.
come back every 6 months and get it, you know, redone. Okay. I don't think that's a wise use of your money, but it's your money.
But yeah, we gotta circle back to it's their money. They can do whatever the fuck they want.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not gonna complain about getting paid more. I gave them the warning.
Right?
Yep. Customer is always right.
But
Not
are
really,
they
but
though? Are they
yeah,
really?
no, not really.
Most of the time, never.
30% of the time, never.
Like I'm right when I'm the customer, but nobody else is.
Nope. I've experienced it being a customer. I'm right about this.
Scarlet should be a good red tone. Right. Permanent red's too.
Has anybody had any accomplishments lately in your work that you want to share? I am curious about all the good shit going on. I want to get hyphy with some good news, my dudes.
I started tattooing the top of my right, or the side top going of my thigh. And it's a very interesting position.
Nice. Can
Yeah,
you
I've been
show
wondering
us?
what that position would be like to tattoo yourself. I've only
All right,
done
take
my
off your
lower
pants.
leg.
Oh, it
So,
stinks. I've been
It's,
there and done
Oh,
that.
I
wow.
don't know how to make it work better, but it's this one that I started. And getting
That a-
back here, that's like a really interesting position to be in for sure. Oh, there we go. Now I can actually kind of see.
Oh, I thought that was a wolf eating a little demon baby.
Well, it's like a little monkey baby.
Oh.
Oh, damn.
You're not like far off.
Yeah.
I can't
Yeah.
even-
How
How
the
would you
fuck do you
position
tat?
yourself?
Yeah, how do you do that?
I'm sitting on a chair and I'm
Yeah.
going like this.
Oh,
It's like
Oh.
the next day my back hurts, and the day after that,
Oh.
my intestines felt like somebody was like twisting them. It was very interesting, but now I'm in it. Once I started that first line, I was in it.
Yeah.
All right. That's
But it's
fucking
slow
cool.
season. It's super slow season over here, so it's like I'm trying to take up the time with at least like doing something cool.
Yes, you mean flash painting season.
Painting season.
Yeah, there's that too. But I feel like I just wanted a break from doing painting. I cranked out another one over the past 2 weeks with this like hyena design, but it's
Hell
already at the
yeah,
shop.
dude.
I'm busting out my postcard watercolors again, so we'll see
Nice.
who's getting a bunch this round. I love painting season.
Yeah,
I
I've
just
been
love painting. I love painting almost as much as I love tattooing.
I have been really fucking stoked lately on like usually I dread the slow season, and you know, northern parts of the states where we get winters, we have slow seasons, unlike places like Florida where there is no slow season because it's fucking 75 degrees all year long.
Their slow season is hurricane season.
Oh yeah, I
Unless you're
forgot.
in northern Florida like me, then it's right now when no tourists want to come down here at all.
Really?
Yeah, up in Destin, we're like 2 hours from Alabama border. And right now it's just super, super slow. I think I've done there's like 4 tattoos in the past week,
Oh,
something like that.
Damn.
So it's slow
Damn.
right now.
I'm a little bit I'm a little I mean, like, I know I'm gonna start worrying about money as things get slower, and I'm not making like as much of an income as I would during, you know, like the summer and stuff, but I am really excited to have a slower change of pace so I can have a chance to breathe and relax and focus and kind of catch up on things. Like, I got so much shit going on. When I'm busy at work, I don't have time to work on all of my other projects. So I'm really excited to have that time, regardless of despite the slower income earning.
Mhm.
No, it's nice to have the time down for sure. So you can refocus, kind of focus on your education and all that too. So I'm thankful for it.
yeah. I always like to call this part of the year travel season, because this is when, typically speaking, I start to book all of my like trips for the upcoming year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I start looking at, okay, what shows do I want to do? What shows do I have to get in for like immediately? Like Philadelphia this year is in January, so I'm already signed up for that one. You know, but like, what do I have going on in February? What do I have going on in March? What do I, you know, looking a few months down the road, what is my schedule looking like? So I know that if a show pops up that I really want to go to, or I get invited to, that's super, super awesome, I know right off the bat, like, oh, yeah, no, I can do that one because I don't have anything going on that month. You know, and then I'll just double check the calendar at work and boom, I'm right there.
Yeah, I printed out a yearly calendar yesterday so I could actually physically look at everything on all of the weeks on one sheet of paper and start highlighting which weekends I'm going to be at conventions, which weekends I'm trying to guest spot, and which weekends, or not weekends, just days in general. Conventions are always on weekends, so I just keep highlighting weekends. But yeah, I am getting I've decided not to overwhelm myself with trying to plan a year in advance, but I'm trying to sort out the first 6 months.
Right.
So like January to June is what I'm focusing on right now. I've got a couple of trips for guest spots and a couple of conventions and everything lined up. And when you physically like see it in front of you, like everything on one sheet of paper, it gives you a better idea of what your flexibility will be like.
That it does.
Dang it. Finding fonts is a pain.
So
Yeah.
I always go through Creative Market. I don't know if you know about that website or not, but Creative Market is like the definitive place to go for custom, like super awesome font types. A lot of it's for more like graphic designers and stuff like that, but you can find a lot of really, really amazing font types and lettering types on there. Anytime I'm designing a new business card or a new like convention banner or anything like that, I always check that out to see if they have like, you know, pretty awesome new stuff. Just because I want to know like, oh, cool, here's a new one put out by this guy who does a whole bunch of different custom font sets. Let me see what they've got available, and I'll see if I can work one of those into my budget. You know, they're usually pretty cheap, like $15 each, sometimes less, sometimes more. But they also have font bundles. So you can get like, you know, 8 or 9 fonts for $25. But it's a great website to go to for, you know, designing business cards, banners, stuff like that. Not for like actually designing and layout, but it'll give you a good idea of what can be done font wise and what's going to look good. Because anytime you're dealing with lettering, the lettering itself has an emotion behind it. You know, so you want to make sure that whatever lettering you're using is going to reflect the atmosphere of the piece that you're creating. You know, you wouldn't want to do a super nice script name in something like super harsh Gothic Old English or black letter or custom, you know, like calligraphy designs that might be a bit too harsh and too sharp. You know, you want your lettering to be able to reflect, you know, what it is you're trying to portray. It's not always easy, you know, to get just the right feeling in it, but it does work. So I always check out Creative Market.
That
I've bought
is
a lot of
helpful
stuff off
tips.
of there
Thank
too.
you.
Creative Market to me is kind of like Tattoo Smart. I spend way too much money there.
It's really easy to do that on Tattoo Smart.
Oh, I know.
Has anybody gotten the skins that you can the real humans things from Tattoo Smart yet?
The 3D models?
Yeah.
I have not. I've looked into it and I've talked to Russ about them a couple of times. But I haven't broken down and purchased any of them just yet. Mostly just because like I don't really, for what I do, I don't really see too much of a benefit there, because anytime people come in for me to get tattooed, they pretty much already know where they want to put their tattoo, or if it's a big piece, I already know exactly how I want it to look and what elements are going to look good in what spots. But for people that are just starting out designing, you know, large scale pieces, it is going to do you an absolute world of good.
I have the protoplast ones, not the actual 3D ones, and those are even helpful. Just having like a very loose idea of what size you need to go.
Right. Yeah, or how is this going to look on this section of an arm, right? Because sometimes seeing
Exactly.
it visually is going to help you out a little bit more than just saying, okay, well, I know where this is laid out, but is this really going to look the way that I think it's going to?
Exactly. I've had some designs where it's like, oh no, that looks fucking terrible right there.
Yeah, or it's you're trying to make last minute adjustments and you're like, well, if I take this tiger and I move the body over this way, I'm going to have to cut this part of the stencil off and redraw this part. And, you know, so sometimes just laying it out on something, even just like the protoplast set, can be extremely helpful.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know. I keep thinking about it, and it's like I want to start advertising larger scale projects. You know, I think what I have to do first is go through and finish some of the other larger scale projects I've started. Then I can start really getting into like a lot of bigger stuff, because I hate having too many huge projects on the books at one time. I don't know about you guys, but it gives me it's nice, but it almost gives me like anxiety, because it's like, oh, okay, this dude's coming in for this amount of work on this area, and then this dude's coming in for this amount of work on this area. You know, and sometimes I get them confused, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm set up for a left arm, not a right arm. Hold on a second, let me readjust some things real quick, and we'll get you sorted.
No, I mean, I'm still very early on. I feel like I can focus easier when I just have like a few big ones to worry about, because I can put my full focus on them.
Right, right. That makes sense.
Because even while things are slow down here, I'm going up to Milwaukee on Saturday, and I'll be tattooing for a week, and I have appointments for that whole time. So I'm very thankful for that. And pretty much everything's big projects.
Hell yeah, dude. What are you
Jason,
working on?
There's a Darth Maul tattoo. There's if you're familiar with Terry Pratchett Discworld,
Yes.
we're doing an interpretation of that, where instead of doing like a tortoise, we're doing alligator snapping turtles.
Ooh.
And then I forget the name of the elephant god with the multiple hands, starts with a G.
Ganesh.
Yeah, Ganesh. We're gonna be using Ganesh instead of the elephants on top of the turtle.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. It's my dad too, so that's gonna be really fun. And then I have a really big raven. It's like half sleeve raven and lantern. And then I have some roses on the foot going onto the ankle. And I get to finish up an owl that I started as well.
That sounds awesome.
Very
I'm sure I'm forgetting
fun.
something.
Sorry to cut you off,
No.
Medusa.
No worries.
What were you saying?
Oh, I was actually just going to say that it's surprising that you would get anxiety with lots of big projects, because I know how much you love to keep yourself busy, almost to a point where you're almost in over your head. Like it lights a fire under your ass. So it's surprising to see that from you, but also really understandable.
Yeah. Well, the amount of time and effort that I put into larger scale projects, just getting them ready, you know, it's like, I want to do a full rendering to know where everything's going to go before I even touch the skin. So for me, sometimes that's what I really want to take my time with. You know, so sometimes that's what gets to be overwhelming. And then, you know, just general work-life balance, and which I still don't know how to do that, but
Neither do I.
yeah, I was going to say that's something every tattoo artist I've ever met struggles with.
I've decided I'm in a relationship with tattooing.
Yep. I used to tell people that all the time. It's like, oh, I'm married to my job. You know, as no matter what you think about that, I love it. It's a great relationship. It's never let me down. It's never, you know, treated me poorly, and it allows me to travel the world and see a whole bunch of stuff. So
I feel like a relationship with anything else is a waste of my energy at this point.
yeah, I can see that.
Tattooing is all I need to do. I need to focus on me and I need to focus on tattooing, and everything else is second. Besides, it's the only thing that no matter what mood I'm in, all you have to do is go, but you get to tattoo today, and I'm instantly happy.
Right? It's like a little kid in a candy store, and you're just like,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's why I don't understand people who bitch and complain about, the type of tattoos they're getting to do. I get to tattoo. I get to tattoo today. That's all I care about. I will do all the infinity symbols and dandelions with wispy things coming off of them, and 3 butterflies representing my 3 children, and this one has to be faced this way, and can you work in their initials in the wings, and I'll do all of it. Just let me tattoo.
Yeah, I think part of the other reason, circling back, it was just a random thought that popped into my head. Circling back to like getting a lot of that anxiety with a lot of those bigger projects. I think part of the reason why I always try to hold off on some of those is because if I end up booking my whole calendar filled with nothing but huge projects, I almost feel like I'm letting down some of my clients that want smaller stuff. That I have the potential to later on turn into big projects. So I don't want to isolate them. So it's like, I don't want to have my calendar too busy. I always try to leave myself a little bit of a break just to get in like last minute stuff.
I am officially done making all my handmade Christmas cards for everybody that's getting a Christmas or holiday card from me.
Oh yeah, that's
I
an
just
achievement right
finished the
there,
last
and
one.
it's in time.
Hell yeah. I haven't even started on mine yet.
Everybody got a watercolor painting that is a Christmas card or a holiday card of some kind. You're muted, Medusa. I can't hear what you're saying.
That's cute AF. I wish I had time to do that.
I've been doing it for so many years. Some of the older people in my family expect it. And I love them, and they're grumpy old asses, and I don't have the heart to disappoint them.
Well, as long as you're having fun.
Yeah. Plus, I don't have the cash money to be buying everybody everything I want to buy them for the holidays. So,
In this economy, who does?
Yeah, one of a kind art, and some of the 36 dozen cookies I make every freaking Christmas is what everybody's getting for Christmas.
Nice. I want cookies.
I've never made vegan cookies.
I'll take any fucking cookies if it's a fucking cookie.
I agree.
Don't let that stop you.
I don't. I have too many sweets in the house as it is. I've got 2 birthday cakes sitting in my fridge, only one of which has actually been cut into. Plus, I have half of a pineapple upside down cake that still needs to be eaten.
Oh,
cookies
Shit's gonna
and
go
brownie
bad.
bites. Like,
the pineapple upside down cake will freeze.
It will. You're absolutely correct. And I think I may actually end up going that route with it.
Because you can't waste a good pineapple up, especially a homemade one. Oh,
yeah, it's amazing.
They're
you
only
can't go
good
wrong with
homemade.
baked goods. I'm pretty sure my best friend is making my dad a Jewish apple cake for Christmas because it's his favorite. we do a lot of things like that, but our family makes lots and lots of cookies and little English pies for Christmas, and then everybody gets them. I need your address, Medusa,
For pie?
for cookies.
Oh. Yeah, okay.
I was thinking about putting you on the list anyway, and then I'm like, I don't know if I can make a vegan cookie.
I'll take any fucking cookies.
All right, because I make some really
So-
good ass cookies.
I'm starting to just allow more exceptions into my diet and go veganish, because traveling is difficult if you're going to places that are secluded and everything, like the Needle Jig event at Jiminy Peak. Even though the surrounding areas are vegan friendly, it's like half an hour away from the nearest town, and the place itself, without driving for a bit off campus to go to like stores and stuff, you're stuck with the vending machines if you're vegan.
Yeah.
So like veganish. I'll just be so like, like when I was in Puerto Rico, I was able to get a lot of plant-based products, but occasionally I just be like, you know what? I'm not going to try to get on my Google Translate and try to translate how I want to adjust this entire menu. So
Yeah.
I'll have the vegetarian option instead. Make it easy. But yeah, so I am vegan at heart, but practical with practicalities. Veganish.
Yeah, sometimes you have to be practical instead of.
Yeah, especially if I want to go to the Philippines and meet Wang Odd.
Filipino food.
That's not gonna be vegan friendly.
Yeah, Filipino food. Oh, I love it.
Hey guys, can I get your opinion here for a second?
Absolutely.
Trying to figure out what else this needs. I feel like it's missing something. I know I need a little bit more of this ochre tone here.
I'm having a hard time separating the coins from the background.
Yeah, they're a little bit the same tone. I love the background though.
Okay. I think those will be, I think it'll be helpful when I go through and I actually outline everything.
Yeah, I think the
Okay.
outline's going to give you all the definition that you're probably not, where you're like, I think I need something, but it's really just the outline.
Yeah, it's probably just the line work in the edges.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, it's almost 3:30 or no, 2:30. Sorry. Sorry, I just looked at the time on my laptop and my laptop is still set to Puerto Rico time.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So, which is an hour ahead of Eastern Standard.
Oh, really?
4 hours ahead of me.
Yeah. By the way, for people out there that like to outline their flash and they work on paper, these things are the best outlining pen in the world.
What is it?
It's a Pilot brush tip pen by Pentel.
Yeah.
And they are amazing. They've got a super flexible hair nib, and you can get everything from a super thin line that's like super hair thin all the way down to like a very big bold line, all from the same pen. You know, so you can really build up. The reason why I enjoy using this kind of a pen to outline everything is because it makes doing calligraphized lines and varied line weight a lot easier. It's waterproof too, which is always nice. It's really black, which is awesome. And it's super flexible. So if you want to get like those nice in between lines, you can do that. It also helps you practice your hand pressure. So you're not, if you're working right off the first couple of fibers, you can do that and you can just get a nice thin line. But if, just like in tattooing, if you want a nice thin line, it's going to be nice and thin. If you want a bold line and you put pressure down on it, it's almost like you're blowing something out because you're going to get these jagged edges and stuff like that. So to do like a nice crispy outline, slow your hand down, you take your time, and you can get some really nice, thin, crispy, black edges. And it is water-based too. So if you decide to go through and you want to use that as like a hard edge, you can always thin it out and get like a nice black and gray wash out of it. So just some food for thought as far as materials for flash painting.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Or you can always go through with a standard, like liner brush. This one's a 0, but this will essentially give you the same kind of idea. If you hold it kind of like 90 degrees, right? And you just use just the tip.
That's what she said.
I know that's what she said. But, if you
So
just,
glad I'm not the only immature one.
you can
Can't help
use
it.
this to practice your line work too. So if you're someone back on the topic of line work that, really wants to focus on that, really wants to get better at it, this was one of the secrets to how I have really practiced my outlining without actually tattooing, because it does force you to focus on hand pressure, your tempo and your speed to make sure that everything is perfectly solid
Mhm.
and perfectly smooth. Plus, you can also practice swooping in and swooping out, or the airplane method. It's just kind of like a little term I coined where, if you have an airplane that's landing, they're going to come in lightly and they're just barely going to touch down. So I don't know. It's just something I found that helps. So maybe it'll help one of you guys.
Hell yeah. Thanks, broski.
Seriously.
Broski.
For those tiny little jammers. If you need a thicker line, obviously just use a thicker liner brush, but I've always found it helps you get down your hand control a lot better.
All right. I've got to start getting ready for work soon. So I'm going to take a leave.
These are
And-
also pretty good, by the way. These are also made by Pentel. They're also brush pens.
Nice.
They're also permanent and waterproof. They come in different tip sizes. These I don't think have quite as good of a flow to them as the pocket brush, but they work well. Good for like medium line weights, not super, super fine lines.
I'm
Once
going to head
again,
out.
Go. Be
Have
gone.
fun at
Away
work
with you.
today.
Have a good one.
You're too good
Bye.
to hang out with us anymore.
Yeah.
It's messed up.
Yeah. Bye.
Like,
Bye.
Pretty stoked. I've gotten some pretty good progress on this one.
Ooh, hold on. Let me spotlight you. And spotlight for everyone. Oh, hell yeah, dude.
So it's starting to
Nice.
get there.
And you're just using the Tombow brush pens, right?
Yeah, just these two little
Yeah.
guys.
That's sweet, dude.
For the outline, I use the Molotov version of Microns.
Ooh. Are those the ones with the metal tips?
There's still a felt tip.
Oh, okay, cool. Hell yeah.
So they're just like Microns, just a different company. I'm pretty happy with the progress I've made on this. I didn't think I was going to have it done at all. Now I could actually see myself having it done for Milwaukee.
Hell yeah, dude. Fucking fly away hair. I always hate that on brushes, like long bristle brushes. You always get that like
Mhm.
little bit of a flyaway sometimes. So sometimes I just take like a razor blade or a knife and I just separate it from the group and then just cut it down by the
Nip it.
ferrule.
What I started doing even with some of these is like with the water brush, I'll destroy it on the canvas. So I'll end up just like cutting off the tip with the scissors
Oh,
and it'll
yeah.
make it a lot firmer.
There you go.
So that works out pretty nicely. And then it extends the life of my water brushes by a long time because I make sure that if I'm using it for black, I use it just with the black. If I'm using it with reds, I use it just with the reds.
Mm. That's a good idea.
I feel like it just helps keep it a lot cleaner. And that tip to tip trick you told me about, Jason, I use that on a regular basis now.
Dude, isn't that helpful?
It's so helpful. I feel like I can get like consistent colors even with just like doing it tip to brush instead of trying to put a little bit on the watercolor paper and work it with the water brush and then put it onto the paper or canvas or whatever.
Right? Yeah, when I was working with graphic markers, and I still do on occasion, that's my favorite little trick to help blend and get the right tone.
Yeah, I love it.
I've also been known to take a piece of plastic, like a bottle bag, or even just clear plastic wrap if that's all I have available. Sometimes I'll just like scribble on that with marker on like a piece of like white letter paper. That way I can kind of see what colors are where. And then I'll go back through and I'll use that almost like a palette. Right. And I'll be like, oh, I need this color to this. Cool. I'm going to go through and I'll pick up a little bit of this with this color. And then, you know, I'm right there.
Yeah, I end up touching it and then using my piece of paper to make sure it's the right darkness so I'm not fucking myself up. I'd rather go a little bit too light than a little bit too dark.
Because you can always go darker.
You're
but
back.
you never go lighter.
Forget something?
Yeah.
She's pulling
Yeah.
a Medusa.
Yeah, I forgot I told you about that. I forgot it's Sunday and I don't have to work for like 3 more hours. So, hi.
I was half
Welcome
tempted
back.
not to let you back in, by the way.
I was wondering what you were gonna think when you saw me being all like, "Hey, guess what? I'm back."
I just thought you were pulling a Medusa.
Yeah, no, I forgot that I don't have to work for a few hours. So
Medusa and I bonded in Puerto Rico over our complete and total shit short-term memory.
yeah.
I feel that in my soul.
Yo,
I have
Yeah.
horrible memory.
Yeah, the act of walking in the kitchen will make me forget of why did I walk in the kitchen.
Yeah,
No,
pretty
like
much.
it's I was telling him about how at the shop that I work at, we call it pulling a Medusa because consistently every single time I leave for the day. I'm like, all right, bye guys, have a good day. Within like 30 seconds, I'll walk right back through the door and be like, forgot my keys, or forgot my phone, or left my Apple Pencil, or like something like that, like every single day. Our newest artist, Lauren, had even mentioned that one time. She's like, Medusa, I don't think I've ever seen you leave and not just come back for something you forgot. And I like looked at her and I was like, get used to it, because it's never gonna change. I always forget something. Sometimes I'll come back 2 or 3 times.
Uh-huh.
And I did. You know
That's
what
amazing.
the funny thing is like, actually I left a crap ton of stuff at work yesterday, and I knew it the moment I walked out the door. I was like, oh, I gotta go back and grab all that stuff that I just like left, but I didn't, because I was all like, I don't want him to see me. I gotta break the cycle. So it's
I'm
just
gonna make
still
myself
sitting.
suffer so I remember better.
Well, so all of my stuff that I packed up yesterday to bring home and everything is still sitting at my station, because I pulled a Medusa
I was
again.
just going to ask you, or did you just forget to go back?
No. I knew that I forgot it. Like after I walked out the door, I was like, I'm not going back today. No, I'm not. I'll just deal with it. But yeah, I actually left my power supply and everything, because I got my new national tattoo machines in the mail, and I wanted to bring my power supply home to run them and play with them. Not tattoo, but just, fiddle around.
Rest in peace, National Tattoo Supply.
Yep. Rest in peace.
Industry standard for I don't know how many years, but you served us well.
They served tattooing industry wonderfully well for a number of decades. Unfortunately, they kind of got a little antiquated and didn't
Update with the times.
Yeah. So, but I grabbed some of their swing gate coils before they're completely sold out. I'll go grab those actually real quick.
Nice.
Yeah, I was going to say, show them off.
I left them at work.
I would say I'm surprised, but I'm not.
So those are also
That is awesome.
Yeah. No, I legitimately went up and was like, I'm gonna go show up. And then like I looked at my backpack and it's like, oh yeah, I pulled them out to show my boss, and that's where they're at right now.
Amazing.
Yeah. Oh, I'm fucking pumped. On the 15th, I'm going over to my friend's shop, and he's teaching his apprentice needle making. And I was all like, Bresky, hola muchacho. I haven't made needles in a long time, and I really want to like revisit that and make a lot of needles. So can I swing by and work with you sometime? And he was all like, hell yeah. On the 15th, I'm having needle day with my apprentice. You should just come over. So I last night tracked down a soldering iron and soldering.
My dad will say soldering too.
Well,
so
it's
don't feel
my
bad.
mouth and I can say it how I want.
If that's what makes you happy.
Knife
I
or
still
like
have
a
one.
salmon.
Yeah. Don't make me
Salmon.
stab you with my knife.
Almonds.
But yeah, I can't wait to breathe in that flux and
Lose a few years off your life doing it.
hell
Burn out
yeah,
the
my
lining in your
dude.
nose.
It is
You should change your
definitely.
brakes right after that.
Oh God.
So what? I didn't hear you.
I say you should change your brakes right after that so you could get some asbestos in there too.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, just like go. I'm all about that. Not.
Oh my God, not.
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to that. So next week I get to make needles.
That sounds like fun.
And one of
As
the
an
national.
exercise, it doesn't sound like fun as a regular practice though.
Yeah. Oh God. I'm really glad that we don't have to get to work 4 hours early every day to make 50 billion fucking needles. I am glad I missed that.
I was gonna say it is a lost art though, you know, being able
Yeah.
to do that and having that knowledge, that old school knowledge of needle making.
Yeah, like I'm really glad I don't have to do that every day for my job, but I still want to know it and I still want to be good at it and I still want to have that knowledge. So that's why I want to do it. And one of my national machines came in kit form, so I'm probably gonna build that as well.
Make
And
sure you scrape
then
off your wire leads from the coils.
will do.
Fountain of knowledge.
I'm still trying to track down stencil powder. Like, and everybody is sold out all over everywhere. I have a couple of sheets of acetate for different thicknesses, but my ultimate goal is to fucking old school tattoo myself with
You
an
know who you
acetate
should have talked to
stencil
about
and a
that?
needle I'm making myself with a machine that I'm building.
You're assembling.
Assembling, yes, assembling.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you're building it, have fun. Make sure
Oh
you get
yeah.
your geometry
No,
right.
I gotta come visit you for a couple of weeks to do that.
Well, if
But
you do, I will buy in stock metal.
hell yeah,
and
we should
I
do
will
that.
teach you how to plan them out, measure them out, cut them out, bend them. We'll be making brass frames. You know, we'll be making one piece brass frames out of either 3/16 or 1/4 inch thick brass. And I will teach you how to go through and make a tube vise, make a spring deck, you know, and not a prefab or a bolt up, but like an actual one piece metal frame.
I am
I'm not going to
100%
buy,
down.
I'm not going to buy the solid hunks of metal that I used to mill out because that is just too much of a pain in the ass. I may pick up some stay silv though. So if we want to do some brazing, we can do that.
Yeah, no, I'm very serious about this. I would definitely be down to plan out like 2 or 3 weeks to come over to Philly. I'll get like an Airbnb. I'll find somewhere to guest spot in the meantime. But I kind of like, I think one thing I learned from Puerto Rico is that I like the same thing with Devin Cooley. That event lit a fire under my ass. Like I have so much to learn, and I think one of my goals is to start planning out extended visits with artists around the country to go and obviously on their terms and work with them and everything. Mini apprenticeships, you know?
That's a great idea.
That
Like
is a great idea.
I really want to I got to talk to Renee about it, but I want to go hang out with Renee for a couple of weeks if she'll have me and like mini apprentice under her. Or you know, just like watch and observe and learn what she's doing. I want to go hang out with you and learn how to build a machine.
Are you guest spotting at Prisma too?
Yeah, I'll be doing that in February. Actually,
That sounds awesome.
yeah, I actually need to get on that. I actually need to, yeah, I need to actually plan that out. I need to do that. real
I'll text
quick.
Bruno when this is done, and I'll see if it's cool if I pass your number along.
Yeah. That'd be awesome. Yeah. I only ever talked to him through Instagram. But yeah, I can't wait to go guest with him. His colors and bright, vivid saturation and contrast is so pretty.
Mhm.
Yeah, his saturation is on a whole new level.
Yeah.
So is and this is one thing that I was pretty shocked about, like watching all of these guys at Puerto Rico saturate the skin with all of these intense colors, and getting the blends that they get just blew my fucking mind. Like, pardon my French, but it was a religious experience.
Sorry, I'm looking at Bruno's Instagram right now and just like drooling.
Mhm.
Oh God, and I gotta go practice Spanish with him too. Yes. That was something I was a little disappointed about in Puerto Rico. Everybody knows English. I
Yeah.
worked so long on learning Spanish, and as soon as I got down there, I was like, gracias. And they look at me and just be like, you're welcome. It's like, and it's like, sin carne, por favor. And they're all like, okay, vegetarian. And yeah, no. But I can't wait to practice Spanish, be in an area where I've never been. And also, I'm going to make it a little bit of an extended trip because one of my really good friends lives in Jacksonville. And so I'm going to rent a car and drive up to Jacksonville after I am done guest spotting and visit her. And on the way, I'm going to stop in Melbourne and I'm going to try to visit Robbie Ripple at his shop.
Wait, he's down in
Because
Melbourne, Florida?
yeah, and
Really?
yeah, and Dusty is planning on doing a guest spot there at the same time. So we're trying to align the trip so that I can go up and visit Dusty as well.
Melbourne, Florida, over on the East Coast, on the Atlantic side?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's just south of Cocoa Beach. If I had known that, I would have stopped down a long time ago. My parents have a place in Cocoa Beach. Like, that's where they live. So I can go down there on vacation, stop in and be like, hey, Robbie, remember me?
Hell yeah. Dude, Robbie
Super
has some
cool dude.
fucking nice videos on his YouTube channel, by the way. I learned so much just watching his videos where he's just like teaching. He's basically tattooing, talking about what he's doing and why. And he's opened there's a couple of videos where he's like opened my mind about the fact that there aren't really strict rules with needle groupings. And I know that everybody's told me that before, but it wasn't until I was watching his videos and him explaining it and seeing him use his needle groupings the way he was, where I was like, oh, you really can bend the rules. Use them like paintbrushes, not like
Absolutely.
like what there's like liners don't have to just be for lines. Shaders don't have to just be for shading.
Right.
Yeah.
So like I knew that, but it wasn't until I heard him explain it and watched him do it in his rad movement videos that I like it clicked with me.
Yeah, and he's
I'm gonna have to go back and look at them again. Because I did watch them once, but I was also kind of distracted the day I was watching through his videos. So I'm gonna have to make it a point to go back and just study.
Yeah. But I think Florida trip's gonna be awesome. And it's for my birthday.
Hell yeah.
So that's my birthday present
Getting
to myself.
Getting out of the winter weather.
Yeah. getting the fuck out of Portland. I want to have a sunny birthday for the first time in my fucking life. That's never happened.
Funny. I always lamented not getting to have a winter birthday so we could do something snowy.
Let me tell you the thing about winter birthdays is that it's, oh my God, Patrick's face. You like looked and you're like,
Well, I'm from Wisconsin. I got February birthday, but I actually have to head out because I do have to go to the shop soon. So it was great chilling with you guys, and
As
see you
always,
next
Patrick.
Sunday.
Take
I'll show
care.
you
very
how far I
much.
got on this motherfucker real quick.
That looks so cool.
that
Oh,
is
hell yeah,
so
dude.
sick. Mackie, you are slaying again.
Hell
Thank
yeah,
you.
man.
Thank you. Trying to get it done as fast as possible. Trying to have it be a gift for Christmas.
Oh, right on.
So, but yeah, y'all have a good one.
You do
Yeah,
the same,
see
my
ya.
friend.
Mm,
But yeah, so winter birthdays, you would think it would be fun to do something snowy, but 99% of the time it's not actually going to snow on your birthday, and it's just going to be cold and dreary and icy out, and nobody wants to leave their houses to come out with you, and everybody is in hibernation mode. And
yeah.
usually the week before my birthday is when the first like heavy snow happens and the roads are icy. So by the time I get to my birthday, everybody's afraid of leaving their houses because they don't want to get snowed in or drive on icy roads. It gets dark early. So like 4 p.m. people are like, I don't like driving at night on icy roads. I gotta go. And you don't even get to make it to dinner. And then you're just sitting there by yourself at the bar thinking, you know what? I hate winter.
Yeah, I wound up having a daughter whose birthday is smack dab in the middle of February. So I wound up getting all of those lessons anyway. And I was like, I'm okay with the summer birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
I
talking
mean-
to a December baby right here. So
When is your birthday?
yesterday.
Wait.
Happy birthday. Your birthday was yesterday and you didn't say nothing.
I thought it was like in a couple of weeks.
No.
Fuck me.
Yeah.
Happy-
It's the same day every year.
Well, God damn it. All right.
I mean,
Happy
I would
belated
think I know
birthday.
I've lived through enough of them.
All right. Happy belated birthday.
Thank you. Mm.
You rule.
Speaking
Happy
of which,
unbirthday.
if I can just make a very quick hi, how's it going, and shout out. I'd like to say happy anniversary to my parents. They celebrate 40 years of marriage today, and I don't know how
Oh,
they
wow.
haven't killed each other yet, but keep it going. Keep doing it. Let that life insurance accrue a little bit more. Do the things.
That's adorable.
Yeah. I honestly don't know how they haven't killed each other yet, but they're making it work through 40 years. I mean, you got to admire that.
That's fucking rad. I
Mhm.
can't even stay in the same room with myself. So hanging out with somebody else for 40 years is pretty impressive.
It is indeed. So more power to them. Congratulations on 40 years of marriage. And thank you for that.
Yeah.
So,
Happy belated birthday, Jason. And happy anniversary to
Anniversary.
Jason's parents. And thanks for fucking and making Jason because he's cool.
We're
Yeah,
very grateful for that.
yeah.
Yeah, I got a message yesterday from somebody on Instagram. And they were all like, I watch you on Reinventing the Tattoo sometimes. I really like your sense of humor. And that's when I realized it's like I'm a little inappropriate. Maybe I should tone it down.
Well, yeah, but you need that kind of like humor to keep people entertained, right?
Yeah,
Even when you're tattooing,
I
right?
don't
You can't
think
be
you should
super
tone it down at
serious the
all.
entire time. You have to lighten up the mood a little bit here and there.
Oh, serious people are boring.
I
How
find
can
his
you just
sense
go
of
through
humor
life
bright
not
and
laughing?
refreshing. I think your sense of humor is quite fun.
Thank you. Sometimes I do get nervous that Gabe's gonna hop on real quick and be like, "Hey, Medusa, stop it!
Yeah.
We're losing
Oh,
followers."
listen,
I
we've
tend to
all
have
done
Gabe's
that.
in my head. I tend to get like Gabe's voice in my head before I say something going, now, Amber, would I be okay with this?
It's like any minute now, it's gonna text me and be like, "This is your last warning."
I think we've all gotten that text from Gabe at one point in time or another. It's like a rite of passage. You know, you're really pushing the bounds if you get that text, and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I should probably back off a little bit.
My problem is my sarcasm is so deadpan, people think I'm serious.
Oh, tell me about it. It's like I make myself laugh all the time, but like no one else really thinks I'm funny. So actually, I can't say that. During the trip to Puerto Rico, I had an epiphany that Medusa actually understood my sense of humor. And I can't tell you what kind of a relief that was, because for the longest time, I just thought I was nuts. Because like, if I make a joke and I'm the only one laughing, is it really funny? But then Medusa would start cracking up too. And I'm like, okay, awesome.
Yeah,
They get it.
I'm glad we're on the same wavelength there. You're muted again, Medusa.
I walked away to grab my paints and I just came back to something about me understanding your sense of humor.
Yeah, I was going to say, I had the epiphany while we were out in Puerto Rico that you actually understood my sense of humor. And how for the longest time, I just thought I was crazy.
Ah,
Not that
no.
I'm not crazy. It's just, I'm happy to know other people that think the same way.
Yeah, dude, you're a funny
You're not
dude.
just crazy. You're also funny.
To the right people, yes.
Well, some people just aren't cultured.
That's the way
Cultured.
I like to think of it, but
I mean, I'm not cultured.
I don't know about that. I think you are. I think you've got a bit more drive and a bit more culture to you and a bit more understanding than a lot of people out there.
Well, by what measurements do we use to determine being cultured? And like, also, it's pretty vague, descriptive word.
Well, being cultured, in my personal opinion, and in my definition of the word, means exposing yourself to other cultures and other ways of life and accepting them as a legitimate way of life and not imposing your own perceived and raised values or mores on that distinctive culture, right? Because to me, to be cultured means to accept other ways of life and to have experienced other ways of living.
Okay, yeah.
Fountain
Well,
of
I
knowledge.
think what I think is really important is for people to understand that there's more than one way to skin a cat. And I mean, I'm not saying that we should all be going and skinning cats, but
I almost turned my cat into a pair of gloves the other night.
oh gosh, what you do?
What do you do?
She kept waking me up, but sorry to get everyone's thoughts derailed there. But
Oh, no worries. But I think what a lot of people expect is that the way that they do things is the right way. So when they see other people doing things differently, instead of learning about why they're doing it differently and waiting to see what the results are before you pass judgment, a lot of people just want to correct it immediately, like, no, you have to do it this way. And I mean, I think that's obviously a big problem with Americans visiting other places.
Yeah.
Not to get a little political, but let's get real here. But yeah, I had so much fun in Puerto Rico, by the way, Jason. Did I already thank you? Thank you again.
You're welcome. It was a good time had by all. As I mentioned to you before, welcome to the list. Welcome to the show. Now it's time to kick things up a notch and bring an even better game next year.
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah.
You know, that's one thing that I love about working at shows like that when you're surrounded by so many incredibly talented artists, is that it does light a fire under your ass.
Oh
And it's
yeah.
like, oh, okay, if I'm going back to this place, I really need to bring my A game, right? And if I don't, then I probably shouldn't be going back. But I know that if I really push myself and I really bring my A game and I really show constant improvement, you know, then I'll be right as rain for next year. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And I can name one artist specifically that the first year I worked that show with them, it changed their life. It changed their style. It changed, you know, their work ethic and their drive. And you know what? They came back the following year that the Puerto Rico show was held, and they took home 2 first-place trophies.
Are we talking about Devin?
We are talking about an artist that has yet to be named.
But I met a lot of amazing people there that are so inspiring and everything. I sat down at a couple of people's booths and just chit-chatted with them. One thing I made a point to do was to let myself be vulnerable. And to be honest with the people around me about my experiences and everything, because that, I think, opened more doors for me. Me sitting down with a couple of people and telling them, listen, I don't actually have that much experience. I kind of feel like I don't really belong here, but I'm excited to be here and I want to learn more. And that got people talking to me and interested in like inviting me out to other things. Whereas I could have gone, just kept my mouth shut and been like, oh yeah, I know what I'm doing. And all of that. And I wouldn't have been having these doors open and have these people be like, oh, you don't know this? Let me tell you. And everything. So it was really
what you just brought up was actually something that was brought up in a meeting that I was in yesterday morning with a couple of people, including Forrest Gribble and Russ Abbott. And we were all talking about how when you expose your own vulnerabilities and your own weaknesses, when you admit them and you expose them and you say, no, this is something I need to work on, you know, maybe I don't have that much experience, maybe, you know, this is something I'm trying to improve upon, it actually makes you a stronger person and it gives you a stronger sense of character because you are admitting what your weaknesses are. By admitting those, they no longer become weaknesses, they become strengths.
hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
And like, also, how are you ever going to get over these so-called weaknesses or vulnerabilities if you don't just accept them for what they are and take them on?
Right.
But yeah, being honest with myself and honest with the people around me and making myself vulnerable, I think helped me learn so much. And
which is ultimately the purpose behind that. You know, you want to learn because you don't want to have that be a vulnerability anymore.
Exactly.
I also don't want to ever be in a place where I think I don't have anything to learn.
Right.
Like, fucking, if I ever get there and I think I know everything, fucking, I don't know, get out a baseball bat and start screaming at
Knocking
me
you down.
like a crazy Yeti. Yeah. Don't let me do that.
I won't. Don't you worry. Because the second you start to get to that point, I'll step in and I'll be like, Medusa, maybe you're not exactly correct in that.
Mhm. And I'll appreciate it. Hopefully.
Some friends of mine went out to Puerto Rico about the same time, but they stayed on a private island right off the coast. They didn't go out for the tattoo convention. They just went out for a family vacation.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, marijuana is legal here. And usually when they go to Puerto Rico, they take some with them. Well, one of the TSAs, they didn't confiscate it and yell at them. Somebody stole it and took it home.
Ah,
And I was like, why did you take it to Puerto Rico? It's everywhere. So you would have no problem. She's like, oh, I found out I had no problem because I had to, because it was missing. She's like, and I'm pretty sure it happened in New Jersey.
well, that's a shame.
But this is why you don't travel with that.
Yeah. I try to travel, like I go through a mental checklist. I'm like, every time I start packing something, I'm like, could this get me in trouble? No. Okay, goes in the bag. Could this get me in trouble? No. Okay, goes in the bag.
I am not like that at all. My mentality is, will this get me in trouble? Sounds like a future problem, not a today problem.
We've got
Pack it.
Lauren Mack joining us today.
Nice.
I'm gonna go ahead and say I texted her the link.
Mm, we'll see
But,
if she can get it going on. We don't have too much time left. Oh, there she is.
Hi.
We can't hear you. You haven't joined the audio portion, so I'm not quite sure, if you can get that going on or not, but
you want to flip your camera sideways so that it's horizontal.
well, she has to join the audio portion as well, but
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
see if I can do that from here.
But
Uh,
I
or
am having a great day.
oh, there she goes.
Okay, she's muted.
There we go.
Nice.
So Lauren was with us down in Puerto Rico. Lauren, if you could rotate your phone landscape, that would be a great
Oh my
help.
God. Why am I a part of this? I regret my life decision.
There we go.
What Chris was talking about earlier. Yeah. Oh my God, you're on an interview.
So one of the most awesome people
Oh
I
my
hung
God.
out with in Puerto Rico. Amazing time. Yeah. So welcome to the show.
Oh,
Hey Lauren.
hi. Oh my God, I died. I clicked on your link and here we are. Chris,
Hell yeah.
do some.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, I sent Chris the YouTube link earlier. I didn't know what he was up to, but
I think
figured-
Chris.
I figured he could always watch the replay if need be.
Yeah, so we were just
Tell me.
talking about Puerto Rico and how much fun we had down there.
Great time.
Yeah, I told them about how we were all at the same gate together. Same plane, same gate.
That was random.
Well, was
Sunday
it random
Funday.
or coincidence? Ooh.
And no, we all hung out the night before and figured that out.
Yeah.
Or I did.
See, so I was actually in the airport with Yalzi, and I got to talk to him about next year's convention in Puerto Rico and
Ooh.
potential additions to the lineup and
Nice.
stuff like, and potential complications with trying to get a few other very, very, very well-known artists from Europe to come out for it. And we were talking about some of the issues that we're encountering with things like that, and how we're essentially waiting until a lot of the COVID and vaccine requirements to get into the US, we're kind of waiting on those to be lightened up a bit before we can really start bringing a lot more European artists out again. Because there are a lot of people out in Europe, believe it or not, that are not vaccinated. So until that can get lightened up a hair, we're kind of dead in the water. And I'm not going to mention any specific names, but the people that we would eventually like to invite out for that show would be showstoppers. Once again, I'm not mentioning any names, but we're talking some major players in the tattoo game.
Nice.
In fact, I was talking to Mikkel Ostberg from Scotland. He said he would really love to come back out. That I met Mikkel at the Puerto Rico show in 2019. And he said he would love to come out and do it again, but he can't get into the country until the vaccine requirements are actually lifted or lightened, because he's not vaccinated and he doesn't want to be vaccinated. And so he's not actually allowed into the US. He was supposed to head out to Ohio and do a guest spot over at Big Meese's studio. I also invited him out to Hell City with me, but he doesn't know if he'll be able to make that unless the US kind of loosens their vaccine requirement.
Uh-huh.
So it's kind of interesting to see what impact that has on the world as a whole. But
Yeah.
hopefully that works out. Hopefully we get Lauren and Chris back out again next year for the Puerto Rico tattoo
Hey,
show.
we're vaccinated. I didn't think anybody even needed it in the States anymore.
If you're from the States, you
Yeah.
don't. So
Just to come in from other countries.
yeah, if you wanted to come in from Europe, you would have to show proof of vaccination and stuff like that. And so it ends up being one of those situations where if you don't have that, and you're not vaccinated, you're not going to actually be allowed in. And it would be a shame if we invited some of these bigger people, hypothetically speaking, people like Victor Chill from Spain or Mikkel, or, say we talked to, maybe Ryan Smith from the UK. We wanted to get them out to tattoo at the Puerto Rico show. Now, imagine if we invited them and they booked their ticket and all that stuff, and then they got to the gate and then realized that they couldn't get into Puerto Rico because they weren't vaccinated, and they had to turn around and head home.
That would fucking suck.
insane.
Imagine going through all that effort
Right.
and then bam.
Yeah.
So until we can get, absolute certainty that these people can get allowed in, it doesn't even really make sense to invite them out, to the show.
It's so crazy because we're like the messiest country.
Oh, I know. Tell me about it.
Yeah, I think one idea that I had when I was down there that I want more conventions to get into is a photo booth so that we can take good pictures of our convention tattoos, because oh my God, it's so hard to get a good picture of a convention tattoo with all that weird bad lighting.
Yeah, like $5
Mm.
for like 10 minutes.
Yeah. It's easy peasy. That would be sick.
You know, put like a roof over top of it to block out all the overhead light. Put
Mm-hmm.
up some like, even if they're just like black foam board walls to block out the external light, like that would make a lot of sense and that would be awesome.
Yeah.
And it
And
would be
like it'd have
super easy to put up.
polarizers on hand and like different light settings that people can use. You can have a photographer that is working at the booth to like you know, help out with any equipment.
Yeah.
And then and you know what's really cool is that way like these websites that are advertising these events can like have a place like to take pictures where they can like post on their pages what tattoos have been done at these conventions.
Yep.
Because I think that would be really fucking cool. Like one thing I would love to, what?
Can you send Chris the link to join this? He said, how do I do it? Here's Chris Mack right now. Okay, well, that's his phone number, not his face. Say it.
Okay.
I got you.
Oh, okay.
Or are you on it?
No, you can do it. I'm
YouTube page. I'll be on there in a second.
He said, tell me how to get on the YouTube page.
He said, tell him how to get on the YouTube page.
Hang on, they're figuring it out. Hang on.
I just sent the Zoom link to Chris.
Okay, he just sent a Zoom link
On
to him.
what? On what though? On
On
what
his phone?
platform? Like what platform?
This is my best friend.
How's
Chris
it
needs to
going?
know. Hello. Chris needs to know, like, where did you send it to? Like his Instagram, Facebook,
Text.
text. You sent
Text.
text message, Chris. There's a link.
Welcome to Wisconsin.
We actually have a few friends up in Wisconsin. So
we
What part?
do. Appleton.
I think I was talking to you about it. Appleton.
It's like 2 hours away.
Yeah.
He said he sent it to you on a text message, like the link.
Get a text message?
Yeah, text message.
Okay.
All right. I am working on a little pot Care Bear watercolor.
Of course.
Jason.
So
Oh, he doesn't
Yeah.
have food.
photo booth. I
Yeah,
mean,
that would be a very lucrative idea too.
yeah,
Yeah.
dude, why hasn't that been done?
Probably because you're the first person to think about it.
I am not, though. I know I'm not. Conventions have been around longer than I've been alive.
Yeah, but
Somebody
keep
has
in
tried
mind,
to take a picture.
conventions, most artists aren't thinking about, oh, how am I going to take a really good picture at this convention? They're thinking about, am I going to be able to do all these tattoos that everyone keeps hitting me up for? You know, am I going to enter this? Am I going to be able to make enough money? You know, tattoo artists by nature aren't necessarily thinking about their photos per se when they get to a show. They're thinking about the tattoos, what they have to do to get the tattoo done. Do they have all the supplies that they need? You know, do they even want to enter the tattoo in a contest? You know, there's a lot of different aspects that, there we go, that most artists aren't actually considering.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I get that. But like, dude,
Well, at least I'm not. So, I mean, I can't really speak for every artist out there, but I know I'm not.
yeah, I just think, you know what, I'm down to the next convention I work at turning my booth into a photo booth if that's allowed.
Well,
Like,
what you would want to do is get 2 booths next to each other, right? And then you would want to turn one into the photo booth and have someone like one of your friends or something like that run that one while you're in the next booth over tattooing.
double booth.
That's
double
called
tenant.
passive income, especially if you have
Mhm.
someone else working at that booth for you.
That is a sick idea. That is a sick idea.
I think it would be definitely be beneficial to a lot of different artists.
Yeah.
You know, you would have to look at, you know what, Medusa, we'll sit down and we'll take a look at what we would need to do in order to start doing that. You know, maybe having two different backdrops, a black backdrop and a white backdrop that are matte.
Mhm.
What we would need to do in order to block out the light on each side and then at the top. And then what kind of rates we would be looking at, what kind of materials we would supply, you know, as far as like lights, camera, how we would transfer things, stuff like that. But we can
Yeah.
sit down and talk about it for sure as like a business venture. And we could actually make a ton of money doing it.
I'm not even caring about the money so much. I mean, that passive
I know,
income
but
is
this
great.
sounds like a
but-
brilliant marketing plan.
I just really fucking want to get a good fucking picture of what I do.
Well, you saw a need. Now the trick is to fill the need, right? Fulfill that. And that's how you make millions of dollars.
He's live.
Hell
You know,
yeah.
that is that is definitely an idea. If anyone out there wants to make a boatload of money
how do
and
we-
travel around the country working at different shows, that is how you do it.
Hey,
Uh,
don't give them my idea.
I need money.
Crap, I said it out loud.
I need money.
You know, small initial investment that carries over, but you know, even if you only get a handful of people that use the booth that want to capitalize on that at each show, that's still money in your pocket to pay for the booth, right? Because booths
Honestly,
aren't free.
Yeah. Like,
On
I'd
mute.
be happy just if
Start
I had a
video.
place to take a good picture of
Got
the
Oh my
tattoos that I do.
Right.
Hi, Chris.
Hey, Chris.
Hello.
Welcome,
It's
welcome.
taking me a minute to figure this out.
This is
Yeah.
such a shit show.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we only have a couple more minutes left on here before we actually got to get going. So
This is in his car.
yeah, Chris, thank you for joining us. Chris was one of the award-winning artists at the Puerto Rico Tattoo Convention.
He's amazing.
Which trophy did you walk away with, Chris?
I got a third place for most creative.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, I remember looking at some of the tattoos that you had done down there, and the color saturation that you had gotten in those tattoos was just on a whole different planet, dude.
Well, I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
I was ogling your work for a little bit. Not gonna lie.
I appreciate that.
Big fan over here.
Chris does a lot of
I
like,
wouldn't go that far.
we would.
I do what I want.
Oh, okay. So what's the subject? What are we talking about?
You?
Today was staying motivated regardless of the type or style or image of the tattoo that we were tattooing.
Okay, I feel like that changes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It can,
kind
but
of
the,
switch up depending.
the trick is, you know, looking at it from a different perspective. Look at what that tattoo means to the person getting it. Look at what fundamentals you get to practice when doing it, right?
I can
You know what
see
I find useful
very
is
sharp.
that a lot of people
Got-
think they can't like,
See?
it's got to be specific to one style or whatnot, but you can have fun depending on every tattoo. You just have to make it fun.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, and finding ways to make things that you might be tired of or sick of, to finding ways to make them fun can put a whole new light on your entire career. Like, it helps you get stoked again, and that's awesome. Like what we were saying earlier. Sure, some Karen might walk in the door with the 50 billionth infinity symbol and you're really sick of that. But you know what? That's your chance to prove to everybody else in the shop that you can do lines crispier than fried chicken. It's your chance to like change that person's life, to like really make this small, simple idea the cleanest thing you've done all week.
Well, as a tattoo artist, it gets a lot of very common requests. what I usually tell the people that work in the shop is there's tattoos you do for fun and there's tattoos you do for money. Sometimes you're doing a tattoo just to put food on the table. You don't always get to do that tattoo that you want to do.
That is very, very true.
Yes.
Oh.
But if
And
you don't
also,
do the
like,
tattoos
just
you have to do, you don't get to do the tattoos you want to do.
yeah, and like just because this tattoo might be a chore to you that you have to do just to put the food on the table that you're not particularly that enthused about, doesn't mean it is not something so deep with meaning and so exciting for the person who's going to be wearing it. So you need to have the integrity to be stoked on it, whether or not you think
Right.
it's fun.
Yeah.
Give them a
Like,
great
because
tattoo every
yeah.
time.
And a good
excited
experience
for them.
because it doesn't matter how you feel. The person wearing that tattoo is going to remember that experience for the rest of their life. You better fucking make it good or you don't fucking deserve to this job.
And no one
It
wants to get
also
tattooed by an
represents
artist
you.
that isn't enthusiastic about doing it. No one wants to do
No.
that.
Yeah.
You know, no one wants to sit down and be like, oh, well, this guy really didn't want to do it, but he did it anyway. Like, did he do a good job? You know, I wouldn't want to go to a tattoo artist that wasn't enthusiastic about whatever I wanted to get, no matter what it was.
Mhm.
Yeah. I have a tattoo that is very well done, but the artist very clearly was not interested in it. And it just like every time I look at it, I'm like, yeah, it's really well done. It's very pretty, but man, it wasn't fun because the artist was obviously bored. So yeah, like it affects the client, and that client is the potential also to turn around and recommend 10 friends or to turn around and tell 10 people how awful you are and never to go to you.
Yeah, it's word of mouth. And that one of those 10 friends might want a full back piece. You don't know. That's happened to me before. I had someone recommend me to someone else. I did a tiny little tattoo on her, tiny little guy, right? And she recommended me to her friend that wanted a full sleeve. Awesome. Great. Yeah, come on in. You know, here's my daily rate. How much work are you trying to get done? What's your subject matter? Let's get you in the books. All off of one recommendation for one tiny little tattoo.
Hell yeah.
You know, so you never really know.
Yeah.
But I think
mean,
I'm
you
done
can-
on this guy for today. Hopefully everyone likes it. I might make some copies of it. Don't know yet. Might go through and tweak some of the line work out and, you know, sculpt it out a little bit more here and there. But yeah.
Do we get to see him?
Yeah, you should be looking at it right now.
Yeah,
I mean,
right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll spotlight that for everyone.
Fuck yeah, my dude.
Amazing.
Awesome.
Fun little brass walker tattoo machine.
Hell yeah, that looks fucking sick.
Kind of cut back like Rolo.
Mhm.
Even though all the machines that he built were made out of stainless, but I think he did a couple of cast iron ones too, but wasn't trying to, you know, get that super dimpled cast iron look in this.
Yeah.
That would have just been too much of a pain, but yeah.
Looks good. I
So
want
I-
to show what I just finished. Can I?
Hell
do that?
yeah, absolutely.
For
Let me
sure.
spotlight you. Aw.
I
Seems
love
like
it.
the day I'm having.
Oh no! Hold on, I forgot to make his eyes bloodshot.
There at the
Yeah, you got to put in a
dispensary.
couple of little like veiny bloodshot eyes there.
Okay, hold on. Little pink. Boop 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 boop. Boop, 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 boop. All right, bloodshot.
There we go.
Much
That is
better.
Awesome.
Awesome. Well, we're actually going to wrap up for the day, guys. We'll start off with Chris. If I'll spotlight you, man. Tell everyone how they can get in touch with you, what your Instagram is, what kind of stuff you like to do, how people can get in touch with you.
I love realism. I love to do biomech. My name is Chris Mack. You can find me at Chris Mack Tattoo on Instagram.
And where are you located?
Wisconsin, Kenosha, Wisconsin, Racine, Wisconsin.
Awesome. Awesome. Thanks for jumping in today.
Thanks for having me.
And
Hello, Nate.
let's see.
Hi, Nate.
The
Amber,
background.
how's it going? Amber, we'll jump over to you.
All right. Hey, Amber Morgaine from Mays Landing, New Jersey. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and all other platforms under Amber Morgaine. And as always, thank you so much for hosting this. I love being here every Sunday.
You're very, very welcome. Lauren, we'll jump over to you. You know, say hi, tell
Damn.
everyone, you know,
Jeez,
how they
ah.
can reach out to you.
Shut up, Chris. My Instagram is Hellcat Penny. I'm from Kenosha, Wisconsin, and I'm a mess.
Thanks for sharing. Medusa, you're up.
Sup?
Medusa!
What's up? My name's Medusa. You can find me on Instagram, Medusa Slays with 3 S's at the end, or medusaslays.com. I like to do cute little Care Bears that are intoxicated. And I'm from Portland, Oregon. Bye.
Hi, thank you very much. And I'm going to spotlight myself. Everyone, thanks for tuning in today. If you like today's episode, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, especially if you're on YouTube. Help us get the word out. You know, maybe recommend us to a couple of friends of yours that might be into tattoos or tattooing. Maybe they're tattoo artists themselves. We're always looking for new people to get on here, new perspectives and new information to share. So please feel free to drop us a line. You can always reach us at management@reinventingthetattoo.com, and we will be more than happy to get back to you as soon as we can. For everyone that watched today, thank you very much for tuning in, and keep those hands moving and keep learning. So thank you very much, everyone, for jumping in, and cheers.